So here's a question. What if you have a model in a category that doesn't get a lot of attention anymore? North Americans don't buy much anymore, but you still want to get people to realize you have it. Say the mid-size sedan category, for example, which not many North Americans are buying anymore and very few automakers are still offering. Well, if you're Toyota and you have your Camry, your very successful mid-size sedan, which still sells, it's one of the better selling in a very small category. If you want to get some excitement to it, because let's be honest, the Camry has not been known as an exciting vehicle over its lifetime, well, what you do is you create a TRD trim of the Camry. That's what we have here. It's the Toyota Camry TRD, which is essentially an XSE V6 trim, but with some stuff taken away and other stuff added. So this really interesting Toyota Camry TRD is the feature of my latest review. Under the hood of this Camry TRD is the same as the XSE V6. That's the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, puts out 301 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque. It is peppy. It is certainly, it might have been nicer to have a bit of a variance if you're doing a TRD V6, but it's the same. Still, it's fast, it's fun. What you do get though, with that, it's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Unfortunately for some, it is not a manual option. You do have paddle shifters should you wish to. And it's also front-wheel drive. Again, not the greatest, but with the overall other packaging, there are some benefits that you accept the trade-offs from. What the benefits include, well, you have a completely overhauled suspension system here. It is sport tuned. It is certainly aligned to be a stiffer, more firm ride. Very little body roll, and in the corners working well. In fact, you even have some compromises from the regular Camry in terms of effectiveness as a family hauler, because part of the suspension is a V-brace, which then renders the rear seats unable to close. You might buy a Camry for that 60/40 fold down. You got to bring in something. You can't do it here, but it adds to a more sport-tuned oriented suspension, and I guess that's another trade-off. Even the braking system is different from the XSE. Obviously, you have the lovely, nice red calipers, but even those calipers are a bit longer, about 2 inches longer than the regular XSE. But the braking system offers a torque vectoring as well for improved sport handling. It's not something you would, it's not overtly noticeable, but it is something that adds to the better sport driving feel, especially getting into corners and stuff like that. So that's a different change compared to the XSE. So what else is different on the exterior with the TRD? Well, you start off with these really nice 19-inch wheels. I got to admit, I like the look of them. You also have the body kit. It really looks something else to see a Camry with this sort of tuned-up sport body kit. It's definitely interesting. And the spoiler, my God, it's this massive spoiler. I swear, it reminded me of some of these, 91 Civics that my high school friends and college friends were tuning up back then. It's over the top, but it also gets noticed. It's funny how people have been noticing me with this Camry, and they point to the spoiler early on. So it's definitely one of these things that go, what the heck is this? You also have a sport-tuned dual exhaust system. I think that was one of the first things I noticed when I picked this car up. I hit the ignition, and then I heard this growl, and I went, what the heck? This is a Camry, but no, the sport tune. There's even a rear diffuser as well to give it sort of that overall effect. It really is interesting. You put this thing in sport mode, and it's not just the exterior. In fact, I'll just put it in sport mode now. I'm not really space, but you suddenly hear it like I'm in a Camry. That's definitely a difference as well. On the interior, you do have some other distinctive features for the TRD. You have a shift knob with some nice red stitching and a TRD embossed logo. That TRD is also found on the headrests of the seats. Red stitching, it looks really nice, and there's also the red inserts. You have red seat belts across all 5 seats. Again, sort of a distinguishing element from this trim to others. You see that in other vehicles too, like Polestar in their gold, but it looks nice overall. Your pedals, you've got aluminum pedals. It's not overly distinctive, but certainly enough to say we're not just in a basic Camry. In order to make this TRD, they have removed certain things that were in the XSE trim. Most of it has to do with weight reduction to make this, I guess, more peppy and faster overall with the same displacement. But there's a couple of head scratchers too. So what's missing? Well, you've got no power moonroof, no panoramic moonroof. You also have had the center screen is gone. There's no longer 9 inches. It's a 7 inch. It's a smaller screen. I mean, not a big deal, but it's a rather basic screen. They've taken away, there's no wireless charging for your smartphone, which again, something you get really used to, I think. One head scratcher that they've taken away is we don't have a heated steering wheel, and I'm not sure why. A heated steering wheel is in all Camrys, and I've especially noticed that it's not here because we are in December. We've had some snow up around here, and it's been cold, so definitely I was turning to the heated steering wheel and I couldn't find it. All other trims have it, so I really can't figure out. You mean the people who drive fast not want to have warm hands in doing so? I don't know. The driver's seat does have power adjustments, but you do not have it on the passenger. So again, from the XSE, you would have power on both sides. You're missing it here with the TRD. It could just be me, but I tend to think that when you're driving a sport type of vehicle like this, you probably also want to play some good tunes on a good system. And this is where the Camry TRD lacks as well. It's only a 6-speaker JBL system, not anything like, say, the Mark Levinson system is in the Lexus. I'm not saying it has to go there, but it's really kind of a basic system here in this Camry, which again seems a bit odd to me. And also it has AM and FM, but it doesn't have satellite radio. Satellite radio is not even an option. Listen, I'm a radio fan, and I've complained in other reviews about how some electric vehicles have lost AM radio. Look, I started my career working in AM, and I know AM and FM is fine, but I think we're also getting to a point where Sirius XM satellite radio is kind of a default necessary thing, but it's missing here in the Camry TRD. Now, when you take these things away, yes, it makes it lighter, but what's also interesting is it makes it cheaper, and that's kind of surprising. You don't often see a sort of sportier version of a model go down in price. The difference between the XSE V6 and the TRD version, both in U.S. and Canadian funds, and I'll display the prices here, is about $2,000 or $3,000 cheaper. So that's an interesting strategy. Why would that be? Maybe this is speaking to a different demographic that likes, more sportiness, but is more budget oriented. I mean, hey, look, for a vehicle like this that's under 40 grand in Canada or both in the US, it's actually a pretty good deal, especially for the type of ride that you get. You just have to get around the fact that you're driving a Toyota Camry. Yep. Usually when I review a vehicle, it doesn't take me very long to get a sense of whether I'm going to like it or not. That first impression typically sticks in my head. But with this Camry TRD, it's taken me a week and I'm still kind of hovering. I really like how this thing looks. The exterior is great. Even that spoiler, as ridiculous as it is, has some appeal. I'm a little torn though, because you're giving up some things on the inside. That just maybe me I like. Some of the more creature comforts, even the heated steering wheel. But I get what Toyota's doing here. It's a showpiece. They know they're not going to sell a lot, but they've priced it in a way that, someone looking for that kind of distinct vehicle. And I think people who would buy this like it for the distinctiveness and like to be seen as different. Well, they won't sell many, but those they will sell are really going to be a proud statement for whoever's driving it. And I guess that's really going to get the attention to this category that they were probably trying to get all along when they created this trim. I got to admit, on the whole, I think I like it more than I didn't. I don't know if I would own it, but I really enjoyed my week driving it, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you are not subscribed to my channel and you like this, please consider doing so. If you are a subscriber, don't forget to hit that the little indication button so that you know when I have a new video uploading. But that's it for now. I'm Eric Novak. Thanks for watching. There's plenty of ways for you to keep connected with me, so check out some of my social media links, suggested videos, and I'd really love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel.